Hello and welcome to Vaping View, a place to discuss all things from the wonderful world of vaping. I'm your host Kyle, and today I'm delighted to say that we're going to be speaking with a special guest. Hello Robbie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. So first off, thank you for joining me. It means the world for me to have you here with me on the show today. I know that your story will inspire and help save lives. So I guess the very first thing that we probably go over is, what are you vaping on right now?
Right now, in my hand, I have one of my favorites ever. This is the Trishul Mech Mod by Hell Vape. You guys know Hell Vape. They brought you that. They brought you the Dead Rabbit. On that, I've got my Goon low pro, and I'm vaping actually a smaller company juice. My wife won a giveaway. It's called Mitten Mafia. This is some fantastic strawberry cream type deal. And then in the left hand, this is actually, you guys got off lucky today because normally I've got 6 mods that are in rotation at all time. I mean, it's just whichever one my hand grabs, but they're all with me all the time. It's crazy. But over here I got my Voopoo, pretty little turquoise Voopoo, and I just got this Pyro RDTA from Vandy Vape. I just got it in a trade yesterday. I'm trying it out. Fantastic airflow on this thing. I'm still messing with coil types and wicking techniques and stuff because everything I heard, they said that the flavor was just through the roof for an RDTA, through the roof flavor. And truth be told, I'm getting some muted flavor, but I'm thinking it's a coil issue. I don't think it's the RDTA. I think I need to keep playing with coil positions, coil types, things like that. Maybe some wicking techniques, but it's good. It's just not what I expected, and that's why I think it's user error, not the product. But man, and that Voopoo, the wife sold hers the other day because she got that Minikin, and I thought it was a bad choice. I mean, the Minikin's good and all, but I can't put my Voopoo down. I got that DNA Therion the other day, and I'm still hitting that Voopoo first. So I love that thing.
That gene chip is good, man. That gene chip is that's probably one of the best chips out on the market today.
Hands down, man. Hands down. Oh, and I got that loaded up with some Banana Pancake from Hype City Vapers. They picked me up. I think they're on the smaller end, but they're growing pretty quick. And they've got the Banana Pancake. They've got 6 flavors, but they got the Banana Pancake that's really good, and they got one called Peach Party, and it's the most authentic type peach they've had yet. Everything else is like a peach candy or something along those lines. This one, the Peach Party, is just like biting into a peach, man. Oh, it's refreshing, you know. It's not my all day vape all the time, but when you do hit it, it's just that fantastic, authentic. Oh, it's good. Good. Try it. If you get the chance to try it.
I'm going to have to. It sounds like it is good. Especially that Banana Pancake. That sounds delicious.
Banana Pancake is banging, man. I mean, just on point. I mean, it's like you walked in IHOP. So.
I like, because one of my all-day vapes is banana tobacco. So I don't like tobacco at all. I don't like tobacco flavors at all. But I take some banana, like mostly banana, and put like 5 mils of some sweet Virginia tobacco in there. Dude, I can't put it down. I'll vape it all day long.
Huh.
Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can get a little bit more personal. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. But real quick, what are you vaping on? What that?
What am I vaping on?
Is that Aegis kit?
I got the Aegis with the Boreas V2. I got the Mag, which I want the right-handed one. They sent me the left-handed one. Like, dude, I ain't left-handed, but whatever. And then I have that with the NRG on there. And then I got the Transformer with the new NRG on there. I got the Candy King's Watermelon Bubblegum because I'm a big bubblegum fan. And then this is some of that banana tobacco that I was telling you about. This is something that I make that just for me. And then what do I have in here? What juice do I have in here? I can't even remember what juice I have in here.
I run into that a lot. Like I said, man, I got 6 in rotation at all times. Every now and then I'll grab the other day, dude, I went to fill up on one of my favorite peaches by Victory, and I grabbed the melon, Max Melon by Victory, and it was half and half. It wasn't good. It was separately good, but together I was like, oh no, I didn't. No.
This is, I call it jungle juice because it's basically, it is a fruit cocktail with a splash of mint.
Ooh, the mint. I bet that sets it off.
That's what gives it that. I don't know what it is. When you put it all together, it tastes like it's like maybe some gin or something in there. Gives it that like kick in the back.
Okay.
And that's what's in there. Just a little concoction I made up. Okay, so most of us have it marked on the calendar the last day that you smoked a cigarette. How long has it been since you smoked your last cigarette?
See, I don't like this question, to be honest with you, because I've only been vaping since August, and a lot of people they don't put much validation of that since August. Well, that's only 5 months. That's that's not much, but I kind of validate it because it's pretty much all I do, man. Like where I'm a disabled vet and I don't work, I take care of the kids, I take care of the house, and I vape or vape related stuff, whether it's making coils or researching online. I mean, it's just probably at least 50 to 60% of my life is consumed by some aspect of vaping. So I kind of look at it as I've got more experience than that 5-6 month mark. But just on face value, if I say I've been vaping since August, people are like, that ain't nothing,
I'll tell you right now, I know people that's been vaping for 5 years and they still every once in a while pick up a cigarette, especially when they're drinking. I know a lot of people when they start drinking, that cigarette, the first thing they do is grab that cigarette. So, I mean, any amount of time, a week, 5 days, 5 minutes without a cigarette is awesome, man. And don't ever let anybody put you down and tell you that 5 months is not, or you don't know what you're talking about. You ain't even a vapor yet. They don't know, and that's bullshit because, I mean, it don't matter. As long as you ain't smoking cigarettes, and that's the big thing.
Right. And
vaping helped you, and that's amazing. That's awesome. And so don't ever let anybody tell you any different.
I gotta re-drip. I want to show you this. This will blow your mind. Watch this. See how close those coils are to the airflow? See this? Let's see. Right there's my airflow.
Okay.
Watch how close those coils are. See how close it is?
Yep.
And this is that low pro, man. Look how tiny that dripper is. Watch this. I've never, ever leaked with this. And I literally just pour it to it. Look at that. No leakage. This thing is insane.
I gave that RDA a very good review because the flavor on that is amazing. Because you're dang near putting a coil in your mouth. I mean,
exactly.
You can't get no closer than that. Yeah, I gave that a really high review. Only thing that I ever got, and it might have just been my build or my wicking at the time, but I got a little bit of spit back. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. But you can, I mean, if you wick that thing correctly, you can put a butt ton of juice in something that's that small.
Right, dude.
I want you to think back to the moment when you realized that you were no longer a smoker. How did that make you feel at that moment? When you had that first, when you knew I'm not a smoker no more, how did you feel?
It was a conscientious decision. All right. I had started vaping, and I was still having my cheater cigarettes, and I realized I was actually cheating a lot more than I had intended. I was, still getting 5, 6, 7, 8 cigarettes a day, and I was just sitting there one night, and I was like, "This is pointless. Why am I vaping and smoking? Tomorrow when I wake up, I don't care how bad it is, no more smoking." And so I woke up the next morning, and I had a really good juice at that point. Like in that transition stage, a lot of times I'd wake up and start vaping in the morning, and it would like burn my mouth, just the types of juice it was. And I had a cookies and cream that didn't seem to do that. So I think that actually helped me get through that morning craving. Because I was able to vape without that burning, tingling type in my mouth. And then after a couple of weeks, I was just blown away. Because, I was smoking 3 packs a day. 3 a day, dude. I had a bad habit. So.
3 packs. I was a 2-pack of smoke a day smoker. And I smoked Newports, man. I don't know what, I started off smoking Winston's.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I'm old. But yeah, I started off smoking Winston's. And then from Winston's, I moved to Marlboros and it just wouldn't cut it. Then I moved to Camels and then Camels just wouldn't cut it. And somebody gave me a menthol. I can't remember what it was now. I think it was like a Cool. And
Cool.
I smoked a Cool and I was like, hey man, this is a lot better than a regular cigarette. So I was like, I like this. So I started smoking Cools for a little bit. It was probably like 6 months, and then somebody said, man, what are you smoking them? Them is garbage. Here, try this Newport. And then I smoked them forever, man. Oh, now anybody even smokes a Newport around me, like if I walk around somebody and I smell it, I want to vomit. I'm like, oh my God, I used to put that in my mouth. Holy crap.
It's so crazy how strong that smell will disgust you now. Just it's cigarettes in general, man. I've still got a couple of friends that'll come around and be like, oh yeah, I forgot you don't smoke anymore. And they'll still, have the cigarette in the house. And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you got to get out with it, but yeah, it's a gross smell. I mean, and that was all day, every day for all of us that are vaping now for how long, how many of years. And, we used to anticipate that smell, that odor. We used to like it, just, oh man, that smells amazing. That's a good idea. Let me light one up.
Yep.
And now it's like, oh God, no, man, no.
So everyone has a story about how they were introduced to vaping. How did you find out about vaping?
My vaping is actually, it's a sad story with a funny twist. I lost my mom back in April. She's had COPD and all that stuff, and back 3 years ago, docs told her she had about 2 years to live. So she went past that by a long shot. My little girl, she's 5, and my mom was her favorite person in the world. I mean, to my little girl, there's nobody in the world like her daddy. I'm her second favorite person in the world, and I don't care at all to say that I'm number 2, because my mom was number 1. And when mom passed away in April, my little girl, who's just, she's the smartest little girl I've ever met in my life. That's not me being biased. That's her teachers wanting to bump her up in grades and stuff. She's just smart. It didn't take her but a day to realize, Nanny, smoking killed Nanny. Mommy and Daddy smoked. Mommy and Daddy are going to die. And the begging started. And I kept telling her, it was like 2 months. I kept telling her, I promise, baby, I'm going to quit. I promise, baby, I'm going to quit. But I didn't even make an effort. Just truth be told, I didn't even make an effort. In my head, every time she brought it up, I was thinking, man, how am I going to do this? Because I want to keep my promise. But other than cold turkey, like what options do I have? I didn't want to do Chantix, being a veteran. Chantix does not mix well with veterans. That suicidal tendency, suicidal thought that Chantix induces on top of other stuff. And that's not just veterans. That's anybody that, at any time. But it's just not a good mix. So I wasn't going to take that route. Cold turkey sucks. The only time I ever did that was when I went to the drunk tank. And, you can't have a cigarette in the drunk tank. And then the funny twist is my wife, she brought up vaping. She said, I've been looking at it. I've been reading about it. I've been searching. I'm talking to people. And it works. They're all quitting. I didn't think so. I told her, I was like, I smoke 3 packs a day. That stupid little thing right there, that's not going to work for me. And she's like, well, whether you want to or not, I'm vaping. Open invitation. I'd like for you to try it with me. And I said, all right, I'll try it. And on day 1, I realized, wow, this made an impact. It really has, drastically cut back on the cigarettes. Still cheating and everything, but overall, a lot of cigarettes not smoked. And that was the only thing that actually got me through the transition was, I'm a competitive guy. I'm always, trying to do better, trying to, do better than this person, even do better than myself, what I expect. And the only way that I actually made it through was I had to look at it as a competition. And if I got those urges to smoke, I would pick up my vape, and every one cigarette that I didn't smoke because I was vaping, that was a victory. In my book, that was a victory. And that was the only thing is I couldn't look at all day. I'm not going to smoke all day today. No, I'm not going to smoke this one cigarette. And then an hour later when the craving hit again, it was, no, I'm not going to take that one cigarette. And at the end of the day, hey, there's 8 times that I got 8 victories in today. Yeah, sure, I still smoked 7 or 8 cigarettes, but I got 8 victories. Tomorrow, it's going to be 9 victories, That was the only way to make it through for me. I couldn't look at long term or anything. I just one victory at a time.
And that's a very good way to look at it too. I mean, a lot more people, if they looked at it that way, they would get to their goal a lot faster. If just one cigarette at a time, one last cigarette a day or whatever, they get to their goal a lot faster. And which is crazy because, you know, my story is basically the same thing. In 2004, my mom passed away from smoking. Basically, her body fought off the emphysema, but then the cancer got in her blood and went all over her body. She had some like 11 tumors or something like that.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Now, we know that vaping not only saves us from smoke-related stuff, you know, cancer, all that crap, but also I've noticed it has changed our lives and changes people's lives in the whole aspect of our life. You know, everything starts to change. How has your life been changed because of vaping?
Well, first and foremost, my little girl, when she heard the words, "Daddy's no longer a smoker," man, she lit up bigger than the 4th of July, man. So, and that's given me motivation to stay on this path. But as far as life actually changing, you know, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, like the biggest aspect of my life that's changed is actually, weirdly enough, my marriage has actually gotten better. Now, my wife and I, we're made for each other, plain and simple. We were made for each other. Like, we're just right there. But we were actually, you know, we both took mom's death wrong and bad and hard. Like, my wife was super close to my mom. Like, my mom was her best friend, and she took it really bad, and she kind of reclused within herself, and there was a lot of bickering and fighting and you know, just taking stupid stuff out on each other. And honestly, we started vaping, and we were delving farther into this vaping lifestyle and found a mutual hobby. And honestly, quality of life between the two of us has just it's just come up. You know, we've got a hobby that quickly took over all of our time that was spent bickering and fighting over nothing. Literally, like, honest to God, having fights over words, like no stuff. All that time was now consumed by a hobby that we both really enjoyed. And, you know, that was the biggest part of life that got better is, you know, just quality of life in general, happiness all the way around. And sometimes people look at me stupid when I tell them my marriage was saved by vaping. But the truth of the matter is, as weird as it sounds, as stupid as that sounds, it was. You know, bickering and fighting was replaced with a hobby. And now, I mean, we're looking at making, you know, actually making a run of it, you know, we're trying to make a business out of it and everything. And we're getting busy, but we're staying positive and we're staying busy together. And it's just great, man. It's great.
That's awesome, man. And also, you know, on my old channel, I did a video of 5 ways that vaping changed my life. And one of the things that I said, and it's the honest to God truth, and I'm not trying to sit back and you know, saying put it out like that, but my sex life got better. And I did not know that nicotine, and especially cigarette nicotine, it does something to restrict your blood flow or something, and it'll actually cause you not to be able to go as long. And it amazed me after, you know, like 4 or 5 months of me quitting. Like, damn, man, I'm like back when I was a teenager, man. You're like, holy shit, man, I can do things that I didn't used to be able to do. I mean, and, you know, a lot of people was like, oh, I can't believe you would say that. You know, that's so embarrassing. Why would you say that? You know, that you suck while you smoke. Hey, it's the truth. You know, that's something else that people should know. I want to inspire everybody, you know, any man. You know, hey, check this out. You smoking cigarettes is it's screwing you up in the bedroom. You quit, you're going to get a lot better. And it's just the truth.
Hey, man, you got to take every positive you can, and that's a big positive.
A real big positive.
Men alike, man. Men and women alike. They're both going to enjoy that aspect of it, exactly. You know? So
smoking is never an easy addiction to overcome. But as we know, vaping can make that transition a whole lot easier. What would you say was the hardest thing to overcome when switching from smoking to vaping?
Probably just staying motivated, but you know, like I had that added motivation of my daughter right there. You know, every time I looked at her face, I knew I didn't want to let her down. A lot of people don't quit for reasons like that. They quit for their own personal reasons. and they don't have that all day, everyday reminder, you know? So they've probably got it a lot harder than I did. Like, that's not to say it was easy, but every time I looked at my little girl, I realized I can't break this promise. I cannot break this promise to her. So I'd say I probably had it a lot easier than a lot of people just wanting to quit because they want to quit. So for them, hats off to them, because I mean, if they're making that transition and they don't have that honest, you know, that physical reminder all day long, you know, that's tough. I can't really relate to them, but definitely respect, because it's not easy.
And see, that's kind of the purpose of this show and of these interviews, is to get everybody's different aspect, because everybody went through something different. Everybody, I had no choice. It was like, you're dead. And I got 4 kids, so I'm like, I can't die, and I got to work. You know, I have to work. I just had my first grandchild. I'm like, dude, I got to work. I have to go to work. I have to be able to provide for my family.
Back years ago, my daughter had just been born, and I wanted to quit smoking then because I didn't want that influence. I didn't want smoking around her, you know, how you are with your first kid, you know, everything's spotless. So I quit for 3 months at one point back then with one of those little cigalikes that you get at the gas station. And the lozenges. I was doubling up on those, and I did quit for 3 months. But I was still, you know, I was in the Army at the time, and after 3 months, one day I was like, you know, I'll go out with my troops and have, you know, I can be around it now. It's been 3 months. And then by the next day, I was like, well, I can have one socially. By the end of that day, I'd already bought a pack, dude. I mean, it was the fastest daggone failure I've ever seen. You know, I mean, it was, honest to God, 3 months without a cigarette. Went out, started smelling it, but I was like, I'm all right. Next day, bought one. By the end of the day, bought a pack. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I went home. I didn't even want to look my wife in the eyes, you know? I was like, are you kidding? Just that fast? It just crumbled. Done.
I went a whole year. I quit for a whole year. I woke up one year, it was New Year's Day, and I hocked up the biggest black nasty loogie that I ever had. I mean, I almost choked to death on this thing. I said, I'm done. I threw my cigarettes in the trash. I didn't smoke a cigarette for a year. The exact 1 year later, on New Year's Day, went out with my buddies, got drunk. Hey man, give me one of them cigarettes. Just one, it ain't gonna kill me. I smoked this whole pack that night, and then it was off to the races again. I was back to 2 packs in less than a month.
Isn't it crazy how quick it can crumble? As good as you're doing, as good as you're feeling, as healthy as you're feeling, that one cigarette is enough to just take over so fast, dude. That's probably my biggest key for anybody that's out there watching this. If you're I wanted to say if you're a new vapor, but even if you're not a new vapor, don't ever just have that one, because this is an addiction is an addiction is an addiction, and it will take you over as quick as it can. You had that addiction for a reason in the first place. All it takes is that one. Just don't do it. Don't think. Don't be like me. Don't think I can have that one social. No, you can't. You absolutely can't. So...
Okay, we all know that nothing in this world is perfect. Every person, product, industry has its fault. Is there any problems you see with vaping, or anything that you wish you could change about vaping?
What would I change about vaping? First thing that I would change is all these manufacturers. All right, they're putting out these products. They're great, this and that, and I understand where they're coming from. They want as much promotion as they can so that they can make the millions. So they start sponsoring people. Let's talk about these people that are being sponsored. You know, these manufacturers are sponsoring people that should not be the face of vaping. Plain and simple, they're going to be the downfall of vaping. With everything we're going through, fighting the FDA and everything like that, and trying to separate from big tobacco, we've got these people that have become the face of vaping. Why? Because they can make a pretty coil, or because they can do a really cool trick. And these are not the smartest people in the world. These are not the coolest people in the world. They're idiots. For the most part, these people being sponsored are idiots, and they are giving us a bad name. People vaping Tide Pods. I'm not going to go into that whole big story. We all know it. Think about that dude's name first and foremost. His name is being put on the face of vaping. All right. And it's not just him. There's tons of them out there. A-Kids. I love A-Kids. He puts out good, funny videos, and he makes the industry look good. All right, he's an entertainer with a little bit of common sense to him. So, but there's all these other people that are being sponsored that are becoming the face of vaping. And when we go into court against the FDA, the first thing they're going to do is hold up that video of a dude with a Tide Pod, or they're going to hold up that juice bottle that's got Captain Crunch on the front of it, like the actual character. You know, we need to be smarter as an industry to protect ourselves, because if we don't protect ourselves, pretty soon vaping's going to be illegal, plain and simple. You like to vape, you need to vote, and you need to get these stupid people out of the face, out of the camera.
Vaping is just wonderful. I mean, it's changed our lives. It's changed, everything. But I was actually on the front of Social Media Magazine, and one of the questions that they asked me in my interview was, do I think that vaping has become a sex symbol? And I told them, I said, I don't know so much if it's become a sex symbol, but I know that on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, there's 500,000 half-naked women on these things, and they're like promoting vaping, but they're promoting sexism on it. And it's like, is that really what we want vaping to be?
That's I had to look away because my wife busted in, but that's what I was getting ready to say. That's one of her biggest things that
yeah, I feel like if sex has to sell vaping, you just shouldn't have to put a woman's body out there, or even men or anything. You shouldn't have to have some nice looking body to promote juice or a mod or anything like that. I hate that.
And I completely agree with you. I mean, as a man, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's nice to see. I flick on Facebook and you get some titties sticking out. I don't mind seeing it. I'm married, but I love my wife. I'm not going anywhere. She knows that. But I see it. It's nice to see. But every single picture anymore is like, okay, I don't want to see this now. Can I see a coil? You got to flip through 40 pictures of a half-naked woman just so I can see a coil. I want to see a nice coil. I want to see some juice. I want to see something else. I'm on here because of vaping. I'm not on here because of a half-naked woman. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to see every once in a while. You scroll through and she looks nice. Keep going. But now it's getting oversaturated with that.
See, I feel the same way. I'm a girl, and I feel the same way. It's okay to see a girl or something every now and again, but when it's every single picture, it's overboard.
I think that there's a better way to promote the product and promote vaping in a whole.
Promote it for what it is.
It's a life-saving tool.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Promote it for what it is, not for all, because I hate to say it, but sex sells.
It does.
It's one of the biggest advertising and marketing techniques in the world.
Sell vaping for the life-changing that it does.
Well, just like you said earlier, these are the pictures that they're going to take. The FDA is going to be like, this naked woman is helping to save the world? We don't think so.
Yep.
This naked picture right here of this chick right here is going to save the world? Don't think so. And because they're going to overlook the fact, they're going to say, oh, vaping is trying to sell sex. They're trying to be the next Playboy. And that's not what we're trying to do.
See, that's the problem is when we go to court, think about it. Lawyers are grimy. They know all the loopholes. We've got some lawyers that are going to go to court and go to bat for us, that are going to, promote everything good about vaping. And the flip side to that is our opposition, they're not going to give us the benefit of the doubt. They're not going to give us, oh, well, I can see why this is a good marketing technique for vaping. No, they're going to be like, this is what we're putting in the faces of our kids all day, every day. Here's a half-naked woman holding a jewel, and there's videos on YouTube of how to hide your jewel in school. So what kind of what are you putting out there to them? What you're saying is, hey, little 13-year-old boy, here's some titties and a jewel. And the little boys will say, oh, I can catch a buzz on that jewel, and I'm going to look cool in front of my friends, and somebody's going to put a titty in my face. That's about how a 13-year-old's going to think. And that's what the lawyers are going to put up against when we go to court on it. When we're fighting for our lives, essentially, in court, we're just going to look bad. We're going to look really bad.
Okay, vaping has saved millions of lives all over the world. But there are a lot of people that are still struggling with smoking. if there was one thing that you could tell someone that is thinking about using vaping to try to quit smoking, one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
Don't go to your local vape shop and listen to that salesman and let him ruin your vaping experience. Find an experienced vapor and talk to them. Look online, do some searching. Don't waste your money in a vape shop because they don't carry the best products usually, and they're way, way ridiculously overpriced. My wife and I wasted so much money that first 2 months, man. So shop online. If you got to wait 2 to 3 days on shipping, so be it. Save yourself the money there, but just do your research. Whether it's on your own or talking to somebody. Don't listen to the guy in the vape shop because he's there to make his company money the same as anybody else is. But these little pod systems that are coming out, those are great. They're stealthy, they're easy to carry, they're easy to assemble, they're ready to use as soon as you put them together, and they got enough nicotine in them that you take you a couple quick puffs and you're done for a little bit and it satisfies that urge. Definitely just do your research. Don't go in the vape shop and listen to that guy because he's going to tell you some stuff that you don't need to know. He's going to sell you a device that's got 200 watts worth of power, and you don't need that. You need 15 watts with a high milligram nicotine. Make it as simple as possible.
Good bit of advice right there. Just get that simple thing that's gonna work, and then you can upgrade into some of the higher things.
Absolutely.
Well, Robbie, before we end the show, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and any projects that you are working on right now?
Oh man. Well, my wife and I kind of brushed on it a little bit earlier, said, we're trying to make a go of it. So we've got a coil building company that we're starting up. We just got our first official packaging in the mail yesterday. Pretty exciting. Any coil sales we've had before, we've just sent out in little baggies that I've wrote what it is and what it ohms out at. So, but now we've got official packaging. So pretty exciting. But you can find us on Facebook or on Instagram at Ohmaj_vapers. That's OMJAH_vapers. The Facebook page is awesome. We've got our normal Facebook where we do our coil selling and stuff like that and just showcasing. But then we've got a Facebook group, and it's all about free stuff, man. It's we've got a couple of sponsors behind us. We're giving out like 900 minimum milliliters of Victory liquid a week. Minimum of 900 milliliters a week, man. So, and that's just a Victory. We've got a couple of different sponsors. We've got Philosopher's Stone, which is a monthly thing. One person gets the full line of Philosopher's Stone. We've got Hype City. We haven't done any Hype City giveaways yet. Hopefully, I'm waiting on a care package right now, and then we're going to do some Hype City giveaways. But the group itself, you've got to be a member of our normal Facebook in order to get to the group page. Excuse me. But our big thing there is we just want to keep people vaping. You're running into some issues. You got some money problems. You can't, you can't afford juice. We've all been to that point, or at least I assume we have, where it's like, man, I can't afford a bottle of juice this week. Damn, I guess I better go get a pack of cigarettes. No, don't do that. Come to our page. Even if we don't have a giveaway going on at the time, you message us, we'll do what we can to help you. Even if it's just put a simple little 30 ml bottle in your hand, we're going to do what we can to keep you vaping. If you're looking at new devices, we do all we can to help people get the best prices they can. We've helped a lot of people get dirt cheap pricing, dude. Like, my wife is a guru at using coupons, man. She's the Pulse kit, the Squonk kit, the whole kit had just came out. It was still an $80 device. She found it for $30 for a guy, stacking coupons on top of coupons. And, that's just what we do. We sit around just anything we can to help the vaping community and keep cigarettes out of people's hands. Even if we got to spend a couple bucks on our own to help you keep vaping, we're going to do what we can. So again, and then the Instagram is all for, coil building, showcasing our coil builds and trying to get a couple of sales. But we're also really big on advocacy and education. So if you got questions, pop on our Facebook, ask. If you need some help, pop on our Facebook, ask. You want some free stuff, pop on our Facebook and ask. That's Ohmaj_vapers. So,
okay, and I will be putting a link in the description below to tell everybody where they can find everything at and where they can find you at. So, thank you, Robbie and Mrs. Holder. for sharing your guys' story. I mean, I know it will touch lives of everyone that is watching this, and maybe I can persuade you guys to join me again on the show in the future.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be fun. I like doing stuff like this.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for today. Thank you for viewing. It means the world to me. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel yet, go ahead and do it now. And remember, vaping saved your life, so help vaping save more lives. Spread the word and keep on vaping.